Hello, today we are going to look at the Total Online settings section. If your role does not include the ability to customize settings, you will not see this section. You will need to talk to your company's administrator to enable access to the settings. The settings section, for the most part, controls default assumptions for newly created scenarios. Most of these can be altered at the scenario level once the scenario is created, but if you are always using a specific assumption, it will save time to make that a default in your system. When you go into the settings section, you will see the different settings available on the left-hand menu. The first section to enter is Asset Classes. Total Online allows for 21 custom asset classes, each of which can be assigned a rate of return. If you would like this return automatically set for any asset that is assigned a class, check the box to autofill rates of return when entering assets. Next, Asset Class Allocation allows you to assign the default recommended portfolios for the 5 different risk levels available in the program. Suggested allocation can also be set at the scenario level to account for a client-specific situation. Default rates allows you to enter the default tax bucket rates for newly created scenarios, as well as basic rate assumptions. Cash flow surplus will control how any surplus is reinvested in the plan. Please note that an easy money, excess regular income and investment return are not seen as surplus in the pre-retirement years, while golden years will see any excess income as surplus to reinvest. Easy money options are settings specific to easy money and can be skipped if you are only using golden years. The first section is assumptions that impact the retirement solve function. How much needed deposits increase annually, as well as high, mid, and low expected return in a separate fund for needed additions will be seen on Easy Money Report page C4 if the client is not currently projected to have a successful retirement. The second section is for an educational report that will show the different amount of growth in accounts with different taxation. The education section has defaults that affect all students entered. These can be edited for a specific situation. Deducting the education costs from savings and investments will deplete the accounts entered in the plan and have an impact on the funds available for retirement. Estate survivor assumptions include the type of funds that can be included in a credit shelter trust, funds to include in the survivor analysis, and projected probate cost for the estate. Expenses is your default line item expense list. If you want to, you can rearrange these items to be in a particular order, or delete all but one item and call it all expenses. Please keep in mind while setting this up that itemized deductions, insurance premiums, and debt payments are entered in areas other than personal expenses and do not need line items here. Report cover settings is where you can add a logo to your report covers, as well as set up titles and cover page text for your reports. Report settings allows you to set up your default report options, including which style of certain reports to use, text justification, audit trails, page numbers, font, and font color. You can also come here to add a disclaimer page to your reports by including an RTF of the disclaimer. If you add this, make sure that the report set that you run includes the disclaimer as well. State tax allows you to adjust your basic state income tax structure. To do so, select the state, add personal exemptions and credits available. Then if the state has a flat tax rate based on a certain income, you can establish that using these boxes. If the state has a marginal bracket system, then you can use the table on the bottom of the page and select which income it is based off of. Once you have your defaults established, you're ready to start planning. It's a good idea to review these assumptions annually. That's all for today's tutorial on settings in Total Online. Please remember to contact our support department with any questions you run into with Total Online.